Hello everyone, my name is Tamsin Buckley. I am the Head of Maths at Kedron State High. And I'm going to talk to you about the best subject there is, which is mathematics, and the selection options you have for grade 11 and 12. In Year 10, the curriculum splits into two different types. There is the Maths A course and the 10 core course. In the Maths A course, the 10A course, you would have been studying a high level of algebra than is studied in the 10 core course. All students should be aware of what course they've studied. It will impact on your selections for year 11 and 12. And if you have any queries about that, you need to liaise with your teacher prior to your set plans to ensure you know what prerequisites you've met. Let's initially look at the 10A strand. The 10A strand is the higher level or the harder level of curriculum. So if you're studying that and you've been managing it, then I would recommend Maths B is an option for you as your primary maths choice. That means if you're getting a sound in 10A, you should be looking at Maths B as an option. If you are passionate about maths and you are quite interested in learning about some abstract concepts, Maths C might be an option you'd consider as well. You would look to have a B in the 10A strand to be able to do Maths C. Maths C is a maths that sets you up to do engineering, some high-level statistics and things like that as a career choice. And obviously going into set plans, you would have looked at what career choices you're considering. If you're in 10A and you have been working hard, struggling with it, but really not interested in a maths as a career choice, then you may wish to consider Maths A. Again, if you're passing, I would suggest that Maths B is probably the best option for you. If you've been doing the core maths course, then you should be looking at channeling into either Maths A or into pre-vocational maths. Pre-vocational maths. For students who currently sit in 10 core and are struggling with the content, or students that have been doing a foundation course. A foundation course is where you do a modified curriculum that covers some of the Year 9 content. This would be the subject for you. This subject is a subject that's a non-OP pathway. So if you're looking at doing a trade, quite often they do pre-vocational maths with that, or if you're doing certificate, quite often a pre-vocational math aligns with that. The idea of the subject is that there's not a lot of work required outside of class. So you can go to class and apply yourself, and if you put in the right amount of effort, you will pass this subject. Maths A is our next subject selection option. This subject is an authority subject, which means students can either go via an OP pathway or a non-OP pathway. Maths A doesn't have a lot of algebra, so if you're sitting in 10 core, you're passing, you're pretty confident with your maths ability but struggle with the algebra, this would be the option for you. If you sit in 10A and you are really struggling with the algebra in that, then I would argue that this is probably a good option for you. There's a lot of practical applications of this maths, so you do financial maths, you do area, you do surveying, those sorts of topics. And it still requires a fair level of commitment from you to succeed in this subject. It's not easy to top Maths A. Maths B. Students who have achieved a C or higher in 10A, this is the subject for you. This is an authority subject, so I would argue most of the students studying it follow the OP pathway. There is a fair level of algebra within this subject, and you will notice that when you look at university degrees, there's some areas in particular that do require this as a prerequisite, so you might need to do some research into your career choice for that. I know that coming out of 10A, a lot of students are struggling because the 10A curriculum is quite challenging. One of the benefits of studying 10A is that when you come into year 11, Maths B, the first semester is a review of what you've studied in 10A. The benefit of that is that because you're doing your transition into year 11, which is quite a big jump, you've already covered the content. It's more about learning how to manage your workload and managing your assessment. Maths C are for those students like me who have an absolute passion for maths. If you've got a B or higher in 10A, this might be an option for you. This subject is studied as an elective with Maths B, so you can't do Maths C without doing Maths B. Topics that you cover will include complex numbers, you'll include dynamics, which marries up to physics. So there's quite a lot of linking between Maths B, Maths C, and physics. It's a great subject, but again, it's challenging to succeed in that subject.